coming your way with a presentation on identifying and nurturing a great workforce for business success. Statistics show that about 70 to 90% of startups do not survive to see the light of the day. A primary reason for this failure on the part of startups is due to bad or faulty decisions by founders in not making the right choices regarding getting suitable partners or obtaining best hires and sustaining them in the business. Now, we are going to focus, first of all, I will deal with the partner. You know, most people start businesses without having any knowledge whatsoever in what they are going to do. They have the vision, but there is no maybe technical knowledge behind what they are going to do. So they will seek to look for some partners who will drive the train with them. So I have just a few points. I will run you through them, and then you see what you have to look out for in choosing a good partner. One, a good partner should have a life design that fits your area of business. It means that if your partner, you're going to choose a partner, you must look for somebody who has an idea, because first of all, you are the vision bearer, and if you don't have that technical know-how and you just choose anybody, it is going to cost you. So what you have to do is to look for a partner who has that same mentality as yours, who come and drive the business with you. Number two, a good partner shares the problem. He will see the same way you see things. He will not see things differently from you. If you are moving together and the problem is there, he will share in the problem. He will not say that you are the vision bearer, so carry the problem all by yourself. He will share the problem with you. Number three, a good partner has depth of knowledge on at least one topic related to the business. So you've taken a partner simply because maybe he's your friend. So you just admitted him into the business and you want him to come and do the business with you. That will not hold, because that person might not have even one knowledge in what you are doing. Just a single knowledge about the business, he has no idea. That is also going to cause you. It's going to be a drain or a liability more than an asset. Now, number four, a good partner values good execution over genius ideas. Some partners will come and they will tell you all the wild and big dreams and whatever. But when it comes to executing just a simple task, it becomes a problem. So you have to look for somebody who values a good execution. When you commit something to his hand, he's going to follow through and do it to the end. Number four, a good partner focuses on increasing the quality of decisions. He will take a decision, but he will ensure that that decision that they are taking is of a good quality. Now, number six, a good partner listens to you. Not when you are giving, you who is the vision bearer are giving him, this is the way to go, this is what we have to do, and then he will also be telling you something else. He will tell you his mind. He's not ready to listen to you. My friend, watch out. Number seven, a good partner is intrinsically motivated. That is, he follows on her tasks without any external reminders. Some people, you have to every time continuously be on them. Have you done this? He says, I'm going to do it. The next moment, he does it. Another time, you give him an assignment, you have to go over and then follow up on him again. That will not help the business. Number eight, a good partner is a lifelong learner. Here, what we are trying to say is that we have, people coming into the business with, their own ideas. They are locked up in a particular idea that this is what we want to do. They are not ready for a change. Now, when you have a partner like that, it's not going to help the business, because you need somebody who is going to evolve with you. Every step of the way, when there is a change, he will follow through with you. He won't say that, let's remain at the status quo. It will not help the business. So going forward, we are going to now focus on some important recruitment principles, which are very important as a business you have to look at, and that will help you get the best candidate you are looking for. So here we have diverted from the partner to now the workforce, because the topic is looking at how we can recruit the best and then nurture them. So we're going to look at those principles, those recruitment principles that you have to follow. The first one is enabling a mental comfort. A lot of candidates, when they are going for interview, they have some kind of mindset as if they are going to be crucified, as if they are going to be judged, as if they are going to be killed. So there is so much tension. But what you do as a recruiter is you must make sure that you ease that tension. You make them feel at ease before they get there. Once they get there, you tell them, my friend, you are here. We are co-workers, or we just want the best out of you. So just come out, and nobody is here to judge you. You must make the person feel very, very comfortable. Number two, we must earn respect. As a recruiter, you need to earn respect. By earning respect is not to say you want to just brag about who you are, but you just want to let the candidate know that at least you are on top of your game. You know what you are doing, but that is not to show off to the candidate, because once you do that, they close up on you, and it will be difficult for you to get the best out of them. The third point, we look at the competency that the person who is coming on board is bringing along. So here we test them on various competency issues. So we look at the area the person is coming to, and then we tailor what we can do to get him to do something right on the spot to show you what he has under his sleeves. So here we're looking at that moment. But before then, we must know that the moment of the interview cannot do everything. You can't examine the candidate in detail over everything. So what you have to do is that you also look at the past. That is the next point. The fourth point about the principle is that you look at the past. And in looking at the past, you can dig further and let the candidate tell you a lot about what he has done over the years in the past. Depending on what job he has been doing, he must tell you some of his good sides, the things he has done which are very good accomplishment for him. Then you move on to the next point, looking into the future. And that is to say that you are looking at the candidate's potential. Okay, so based on the past, what he has done over the years and what he's able to demonstrate now, you based on that to tell whether the person has a potential for the job concerned. And then finally, we have to focus on ending the interview well. Here, what we want to focus is that we see that a lot of interviews, especially when it comes to candidates who are very, very good, and you are targeting them, if you don't end the interview well, what will happen is that they will think that you are taking them for granted, they are being exploited, and so they, at the end of everything, they turn you down because they know what they are worth. So it's important you let the candidate feel, after the interview, feel satisfied and not to think that he has been exploited. So from this point, we are going to look at how we can nurture the workforce. We've talked about how you be able to get the workforce. Now we look at how we can nurture the workforce. But in looking at how to nurture the workforce, we must look at the culture, okay, organizational culture within which the members of the organization are going to function. So first of all, we look at what nurturing means. To nurture means to protect and to take care of somebody or something. So once you get the good candidates and they come on board, you have to try your best as a recruiter to make sure that you create the enabling environment for them to stay and to grow their business. You can't keep changing the workforce. So it's important we nurture. So we're going to go through that. But like I said, you have to nurture in an enabling environment. So we have an organizational culture that must be in existence, so the members, once they come, they will be able to feel comfortable and go through the exercise of nurturing. Now, organizational culture, or culture as we know, it's something that now everywhere people talk about culture, but they actually do not know exactly what it takes to get organizational culture in place. Now, organizational culture, or culture in sociological terms, is a set of beliefs, behaviors, characteristics, and ways of thinking that are common to a particular group or society. So, like we have our company, what we will term as our culture is what we, or the behaviors, what we have all agreed that this is the way we want the business or to behave in this business. So better put, we can say that this is how we do things. If I should put it this way, we'll say that this is how we do things here. And then in getting the culture through, there are certain elements that will help shape organizational culture. And they are the actions, the symbols, the stories, and then rituals. So I'm going to take you through, or walk you through these points, which first of all, we look at the actions. And when we say the actions, which is going to shape our culture, first of all, we look at the people in the organization. What do they do? Their actions, especially the older employees within the organization, when new ones join them, they are going to look at what they will be doing, what the old guys are doing, and that is what is going to inform them also to shape up how they will do things in the organization. So it's very, very important that those in the organization already, they put up certain actions that when new ones join, they will be able to do same, and then we'll have a healthy organizational culture. And then again, we have bosses. Some bosses, especially those in the who are founding members of the organization, whatever you do, everything that you do, you are being watched. This is where you have to be very critical about what you do. The people in the organization, your members are watching you. What you do becomes a precedent. They are watching you, and they will also do the same. So they won't do anything apart from what you have taught them to do by your own actions. And again, when you take as a senior member of the organization, when you take any action, and sometimes, let me give an example. If you take maybe some bosses, they sit, once they go around, and then they find that there is something wrong somewhere, immediately they will take an action because maybe they are angry. They take an action maybe by firing somebody. Now, when you do that, the members of the organization see you, they will also think that, this man is too mean. Look at the way he treated this person. This can happen to me too. So they will be on the alert. If they get opportunity, they will leave you. So in doing some of those things, it's true, you might have the a time when such a thing will happen. But when it happens, quickly you have to make sure that you explain your actions to your people for them to know. If, for example, you have an employee who is outspoken, and because he is outspoken and maybe he is not performing, and you take an action by firing him, what will happen is that immediately you take that action, if you don't explain, people will interpret it for you, and they will tell you that because he's outspoken, that is why you have fired him. But probably that is not the case. It's a different thing altogether. He has done something and he needed to be fired. So you need to explain your actions so that you can shape the culture. Also, there is what we call small acts, little acts. You know, like you walk through to the organization, the facets of the organization, you meet some of them in asking their views and talking to them, you listen to their criticism, is very, very important. So as you go through, these are the things that actions, I see actions in shaping organizations will do for you. The next point I want to touch on is the rituals, what we call the rituals. And rituals are the agreed actions that have been accepted in the past and have the tendency of being practiced in the future. So I have some few examples which we can relate with. The first one, an orientation on why and how a business exists. When you join an organization for the first time as a new recruit, what will happen is that you have to be walked through the basis of the organization, how the organization came into being, where you are driving at. As you have joined as a new person, this is the focus of the organization, and this is what you have to do as a new member. Again, when you have fixed company-wide meetings, you can use that also as a way of having your rituals. There can be monthly or quarterly events in which the co-founders of the company brief everyone in the organization about the recent development. Maybe there is a contract you are all moving on to get, so they stand together to see that thing come to pass. Also, we can have the monthly best worker acknowledgement, where a worker does well, you acknowledge. Like you see in some of the banks, you see it's a best worker of the month. All those things are rituals that has come to stay. So they go through with it and it becomes part of their culture. And also we can have a situation where there will be weekly departmental discussion on achievements and failures. Now, in this case, most people, when they come or you don't do these things, what happens is that they find it very difficult when there is, an issue. They find it difficult in coming out. But if there is that trust and this thing goes on, it happens every week, people are prepared to come out and discuss some of those things in good faith. Now, the next point I want to touch on is the symbols. And the symbols are those which come in the form of language, the dress code, colors, etc., which the company will identify itself with. I want to give you an example. I think those of you who are old a little bit, in the years of VACO, where we have their workers from top to down. I mean, those are the top positions to those at the lower ranks. You will see them all in uniform. And when you see them in their gray khaki uniform up and down with their safety helmet, with their safety boots, I mean, everybody, they are dressed in that manner. And it serves as a kind of pride for the organizational members. Anybody who you see say, I work at VACO, in fact, you have some kind of respect for that person. And it is the basis for which organizational members are nurtured. The last point I want to touch on is having a time to dig into the past. Now here, we should have storytelling becoming part of the organizational culture, especially by the founders, who will sit and then once a while they tell the story about how they started, the challenges they have faced, how far they have come, how they managed through the challenges, and how far the company has come, so that organizational members can also identify with it and then move through with them. The last issue I want us to look at is the nurturing issues, the nurturing points themselves. That is, within the great culture that you have formed, now you can look at various issues which form part of the nurturing process. And one, there are more points, but I want us to focus on some important ones that I have enumerated here. First of all, we will look at creating a positive atmosphere in the work environment. Now, you move to certain organizations or a workplace, and you realize that people are just there. They don't care about whether the organization is succeeding. You ask somebody something, you say, ask this person. They have some kind of lackadaisical attitude towards the work, and that will not help in nurturing the workforce. You must create a positive atmosphere where people will feel happy. They are moving from their homes to work, they are happy. They don't move from their home to work and thinking that I'm going to meet a boss who is so hostile to me, who is this, who is... No, you must create a positive atmosphere in the work environment. Number two, you have to encourage initiatives and new ways of doing things. A lot of the time, most people who fail, you will see that they fall short here. They want to let the new people know that they have nothing under their sleeves. But I tell you, sense is not in one man's head. So as you bring in new people, they also have new ideas which must be welcome. So it's important you create the room for initiative and new ways of doing things. Number three, you must have clear lines of responsibility and accountability. Where this thing is lacking also, it's a problem, because it doesn't give the person that power that he will say that really I am in charge of this and I'm taking this responsibility, so I will be accountable to it. You have, powers or issues, positions are not well defined. Duties are not well defined. You have to define them so the members of the organization will know who is doing what and who should be held accountable. That will foster, the nurturing process. Number four, making workforce feel a part of the organization is also another important point that we have to look at, because if an organizational member doesn't feel a part of the organization, you and our guess is so clear. We know where the member will be veering towards. He will not bring his best out, because he knows that after all, whatever I do, it is so and so person who is going to benefit. I have nothing to benefit in the organization. So let the person feel that he is a part of the organization. And you can do this by sometimes some people offer the members shares in the organization so they feel part of the organization. The next point is giving a clear sense of direction for all to understand and follow. Sometimes members within the organization lose focus. They lose track of where they are going. But you, as the founder, must tell them, must let them know every time where you are driving the ship to, so they will follow through with you. When you lose track, somebody else will take over and direct the organization to where you don't want. So it's very important you give a clear sense of direction. And the next point is respecting views of the workforce. This is also very, very important within the organization to enrich your workforce. You must respect their views. They have brilliant ideas which you will need. So when they tell you something, it is because they are on the ground. They will have more information what is happening. You behind will think that this is the way to go, but they also on the ground will tell you that no, this where we are going, there is a tree stump there, why not cut it? You said no, go. Now when they go and they hit, everything that they have done is gone down the drain. So you must listen to their views because they are with the people, especially those at the marketing departments and what have you. They deal with customers. So if there is maybe a complaint that the customers are bringing across, you as the founder must look at how maybe you have to engage somebody to do further investigation to see whether what they are saying there is some truth in it, and then you change your ways or you amend the processes to get things straightened. The next point is you must have periodic training and retraining for the workforce. Now here, a lot of people think that once you engage the person and you are working or within the organization and this is how we do things, so that is the end. No. In the world in which we are, where things keep changing and changing every now and then, what we need is training and retraining. You have trained your workers all right, but with time, new things come. You might have competitors who are doing, new things. They have gone past you. You must have this thing at your fingertips that immediately you see those signs. Know that you have to go in for training, and maybe you have to change some of your methods of doing things. You will need training and retraining of your workforce. The next point is giving appropriate raises where need be. Some workers will kill themselves or do whatever they can to make sure that they are meeting their targets and what have you. And then at the end of the day, not even a thank you. But when you have bonuses and you have maybe identifying those workers and giving them raises in their salaries and all those things, it helps to nurture or make the workforce stay within the organization. Also, we have creating opportunities for the workforce to grow with the organization. This is also very, very crucial. If the employee sees that he has no future with the organization, what will he do? He will look for a place where that future exists and he will go away. He will go there and then make sure that he's living good. You join an organization and you want to further your cause, even if they can't sponsor you, they should be able to say that, okay, we will support you by still continuing to pay your salary once you go and do the course. Now, the member feels that, oh, really, this organization is also thinking about my progress. And when such a person is even giving another offer somewhere, he might look at this kind gesture that you have shown and refuse any offer that will be thrown to him or her. The next point is creating an atmosphere for mentoring towards succession. Now, there are a lot of organizations. When somebody, leaves or that something happens to somebody, it becomes a problem. There is an issue because there is nobody who has been mentored who will take over that place. So it's important you consciously put that on your agenda to make sure that you are mentoring people to take over others. Thank you very much, and I thank you for your attention.